Hello, everybody. I'm Ciaran Dynes, Chief Product Officer here at Matillion. I'm delighted today to connect and chat with our good friend Adam Conway, SVP of Databricks. Adam, delighted to chat to you today.
Hey, Ciaran, great to see you too. Really excited for the event.
Awesome. So, Adam, I don't think it's any great secret that Databricks has seen tremendous market momentum over the last number of years, and I think definitely known for bringing some brilliant innovations and a whole new concept, the lakehouse, to the market, to the industry. Maybe we could start there, Adam. Could you briefly explain to everybody what is the lakehouse and why did Databricks create it?
Yeah, what we were seeing inside of our customer base when we were more focused on data lakes and ML and data science was that customers were really trying to access that data inside of the data lake using traditional BI tools and things like that. And actually at a very large number, where we were seeing people treating the data lake like a data warehouse. With the introduction of things like Delta, which made it much easier for people to bring those data warehousing workloads over to the data lake. So as we saw this behavior, we started just talking to those customers, understanding what they needed, and really understood that there was kind of a journey that customers were going on from sort of traditional analytics, trying to see, historically what has been happening with their data, to trying to predict what's going to happen, coming around the corner. Things like sometimes it's churn, sometimes it's forecasting, sometimes it's predictive maintenance. Kept on seeing people trying to bridge those two things, and we were seeing that with Delta Lake and BI tools and the ML capabilities in Databricks, they were able to kind of see that full journey in one platform. So as we started seeing this, we kind of came up with this name, Lakehouse, to describe it. It's actually kind of a generic description of things that companies do. It doesn't actually have to be Databricks, although I think we're a leading contender in that space, where companies really want to do this end-to-end analytics. And it allows them to really break down silos. It allows them to bring all of their users into one place, bring all their data into one place, and to kind of deploy their kind of end-to-end data platform. And I think maybe more importantly is it allows the unification of kind of different types of users. You can have data engineers and data scientists, ML engineers, data analysts, all working in the same platform in the same place, and you get a lot of dividends from that. So that's kind of where we saw the lakehouse and where the lakehouse is going. So it really is that place where you can bring together your BI and your AI into a single place.
That's awesome, Adam. I think for me, when I think about the lakehouse, I'm always intrigued by, would the lakehouse exist if we hadn't got cloud? So I'm kind of interested to delve maybe a little bit more into that on two sides. So like maybe what are the core technologies or principles of the lakehouse? And then what are you seeing in terms of adoption of the lakehouse? And maybe just one last one I'll throw in, is it data science? Is it traditional analytics? What type of analytics workloads are you seeing with the lakehouse architecture?
Yeah, I do think the cloud was the main catalyst of making this happen. And that's a great way of putting it. And I think what the cloud brought, if you think of the lakehouse and what it actually enables, it allows simplicity by having all your data in one place and a single set of tools across different people. It allows for openness, which means there's no lock-in, and you can use whatever tools you want to access that data. So, some new ML tool comes out, you can use it. You don't have to export data or deal with other complexity. And the final is the ability to operate this in many different environments. This problem existed on-prem. You have many data centers. It's much easier once the data is in the cloud to use it across several areas. So the ability to do multi-cloud. So that's those things were absolutely catalyzed by the cloud. And I think maybe more importantly, is it kind of broke up the way that we viewed data warehousing on-prem. Data warehousing was really where you locked in all your data into a specific place. You loaded it into the data warehouse and you'd extract it via SQL. That's great if you're just doing BI, but if you want to add other applications, that's just a very, very difficult way to deploy, to deploy other applications, ML, those sorts of things. So yeah, I'd say that the cloud was pretty instrumental in making this and making the lake house a possibility.
So maybe following on from that, Adam, as we kind of maybe look to, I don't know, let's say democratize data, maybe helping the data teams and developers be more productive in connecting the data and creating more insights. I think we're very aligned actually with that view of Databricks, right? That the lakehouse is this kind of the center of your data strategy. It's open, it's extensible, it's infinite in a way how much data you can get in there, and you can ask and run different workloads against it. I guess in your view, like how do Databricks and Matillion, how we work together, how does that help democratize, opening up advanced analytics, automation, AI, machine learning, all these kind of the promised land, I guess, of analytics. How does us working together basically help that happen?
Yeah, that's a great question. And it starts with, we talk about bringing this data into kind of an open data lake. And that's really the key component of making this work. And where Matillion helps us is it allows us to bring data in from operational data sources like databases and that kind of thing, SaaS applications, other places, and ingest that and lay it out in an open format, Delta Lake. That's the beginning of the journey, and Matillion is a key partner in delivering that. But then also helping us take it from there and to do other things with it. One of the things that people do a lot with in Databricks is they often bring in proprietary data sources. So think of this like product analytics or clickstream data or even ad analytics type data, which may be kind of first party custom data sets. What Matillion allows the users to do is take these operational data sets that they've helped ingest and these proprietary data sets that companies have, and build a tool that allows people to join those data sets together very easily and get insights out of them. And what's nice about this is that one data set, those proprietary data sets, have historically not lived in things like data warehouses and things like that. And these other data sets have traditionally lived in data warehouses. And this allows us to bring these together and allow people to do different sort of insights than they've ever been able to do before. Sometimes that is more BI and analytics. Sometimes that's more ML. And those sorts of capabilities. But really, I think the partnership enables us to deal with this end to end on how we transform those data sets, how we ingest them, and then ultimately make it so that they're monitorable and high quality.
So Adam, I'm sure in your travels you come across a lot of very smart people, right? People who are involved in data science. Maybe people who are able to code in Spark and Python and Java, like these things are kind of the tool sets and the skills that they have. But I think the traditional analytics, we've always been providing kind of productivity tools to help people kind of run faster. In your view, when you think about Databricks customers and the users out there, where does low code fit into the picture?
Well, good thing we're partners with Matillion because it really enables us to have it really helps us address a type of user which may not be comfortable writing code or SQL transforms and orchestrating that themselves. So Matillion as a partner really introduces kind of the low code, no code, even some own code type applications, or I should say transforms to Databricks. So I think of Matillion as a partner that's really, enabling a broader set of users to the platform. And we talked about with the Lakehouse, we talked about how one of the key pieces is how do you get collaboration amongst all these users. And I think Matillion, is kind of a key, provides kind of a key pillar that enables a different type of user to use our platform, or just somebody that wants the simplicity of not having to write code all the time, and have a platform that really helps you abstract a lot of that away.
Yeah, I would agree. I think like one of the things that we define here at Matillion is this idea of giving people business ready data. And for us, that's defined really by three things. It's BI, business and intelligence that we've talked about, and reporting. it's also data science, right? It's asking those new types of questions of the data. And it's also operationally putting those insights to work, or making data actionable. So putting it back into those business layers, operational layers, so things can actually happen in the moment. So I think it's that. It's for us is that it's the combination of those who want to use a low-code visual editor to kind of build their pipelines, and then bringing in those who have developed code or their own code, and having those extension points, those hooks to bring those in. And that's certainly been the foundation of the way Matillion's been built from the ground up. And I think that's why we work so well with yourselves at Databricks, is because we can plug in things like Python and other types of languages directly into the pipelines. Ultimately all we're trying to do is make the boat go faster and make people more productive.
Absolutely. So, maybe just to flip this question on you, I love the focus that you have on data productivity. How do you see Matillion's customers working, and actually maybe our joint customers, or Matillion Databricks customers working together to do interesting new things with the joint solution?
I think for us, Adam, is always trying to remove as much friction as we possibly can. As businesses try to get more from their data. And first and foremost, I think you raised it yourself. It's just, can we provide simple, kind of easy to get going pipelines that just simply solve the problem of data loading. We're building a bunch of great new connectors at the moment. We're advancing our SAP connectivity. We're putting in Workday. We're doing Anaplan. And it's always amazing when you talk to the engineers at Matillion, and you kind of find a new SaaS application that we're integrating with. And it just dawns upon you that although there is an API to connect to that particular enterprise application, more often than not, it was never designed for the data to be extracted from that application. It was designed for a different purpose. So you find yourself in the connector having to recreate the relationships of the different attributes and the different objects that we extract through the API. And that's a lot of hard work. I think sometimes people think a connector is just extracting the data. More often than not, it's actually reassembling that data back in the lakehouse or in the warehouse. So I think that's one of the areas that we continue to strive for, is just putting in place more enterprise-grade connectivity. And I think your mileage varies really on the quality of the connector that basically you use, because, as I say, a lot of these enterprise applications were simply not designed with the idea of analytics and data extraction in mind, even though they kind of maybe provide a connector or an API to get the data out. You find yourself having to basically recreate a lot of the logic to actually make it easier for the analytics team to kind of do some analytics on top. I think the second bit, and we'll probably talk a bit more about this, is modern companies or enterprises are obsessed, and they should be, around security, and more increasingly around data sovereignty. So being able to run those data extraction workloads in the platform, inside your cloud, inside your VPC, becomes paramount. And certainly, I've certainly seen this a lot with Databricks, as you know, Adam, with the architecture you deploy on. You have SaaS, and then you have the ability to make sure it's 100% locked down on the customer side, running onto their account. So I think, again, if we try to remove friction, loading data is one thing. Making sure we adhere to the best practices and principles of sovereignty and security. I think that's kind of another key thing that we see in terms of making the boat go faster for organizations as we think of data productivity. And other things, I think, is just, we're going to talk about this throughout the conference, is just the continuous move to offer our platform and our products, our services as SaaS. And to do that in a way that basically makes it easier for not just users to access the software, but actually just to create more projects and make them easier to share. Right? It's kind of building on the shoulders of giants. If you've got a team in your organization that has built a data loading workload, where does that data go to? Where in the lakehouse or where in the warehouse are those tables that another part of the organization could quickly pick up that data and basically run from there? I think aspects of Unity Catalog and those types of things kind of make that a lot easier, but it's about us making sure that the entire platform is delivered as SaaS. So I think those are the things that we like to think about when we think about data productivity. And again, lastly, I would just kind of quickly define that when we talk about business-ready data, it's always those three things. It's BI analytics, it's data science, and it's operational analytics. And it's making it easy for those three things to be combined in a simple, low-code, highly productive way. And that's all done through a visual metaphor. Those are the things that we really think about at Matillion when we're trying to solve the problem of data productivity today.
I think that's the vision for for many organizations is how do you make these things? How do you make it faster, easier to get insights, to get predictions, to get those sorts of things? And I think that's really where this partnership does well.
Yep, and 100% governed and secure way, right? That's kind of the key aspect of this, and that's why we love some of the things that you're doing at Databricks or in the governance area, which probably brings me, I think, Adam, nicely to our kind of our last question is, what next for Databricks and Matillion and the partnership?
Yeah, I think we have a lot of very interesting things coming and things that we've been talking about and working on together. I think maybe one of the first things is understanding how we can do more with ML. At Databricks, we have the tools to make it easier to do a lot of ML capabilities like auto ML and those sorts of things, where in more of a low code way, you can actually get started with ML. That really kind of completes the journey that people start on with Matillion. So we can go from the ingestion through the transformation. You can build your BI dashboards. You can do those sorts of things, but then also maybe do some predictions. Say, what is the forecast of how do you bring that look to the right of where you can normally look from the data perspective. That's, I think, one really important thing that we can work on, that we're going to work on together. Second is governance, and we've actually done quite a bit here already. The Unity Catalog went GA this summer, and Matillion supports the Unity Catalog, which is was a big effort on both sides to make that happen. So we're very pleased about that. Making it much easier to govern that data, and by govern I mean not just provide emission control, access control and things like that, but also understand the lineage, make data searchable, make it something that can be collaborated on more easily. One of the things that I think we're seeing at Databricks really explode is streaming. Streaming is it is the fastest data transformation capability we see within Databricks. And historically, we've done streaming ingestion with Matillion, but I think over time we're looking at we're interested in where this goes from, providing live tables and other streaming capabilities where you can have an entire streaming pipeline, and you can build that within Matillion. So I think that kind of goes where I think many enterprises are going. And like I said, this is a very fast growing business within Databricks, certainly, and we're seeing that globally across all sort of lakehouse type architectures. We're seeing a lot of growth there. I think the final thing is more connectivity. We're always eager to learn about Matillion's roadmap for how we're looking at more business applications and how we can access that data, or how our customers can access that data, and really kind of complete the picture for all their analytics needs. So that's, I think, the thing we're always interested in your roadmap there, because I think it really helps us add new applications and enable new applications for our customers.
Awesome. Super exciting. I love this idea of these streaming transformations that you say, Adam. So yeah, let's continue that conversation and continue to work on that. Adam, it's been my great pleasure to host you today, and thanks for spending time with me. And I hope everybody enjoyed the chat, and look forward to speaking to our mutual customers very, very soon.
Thank you very much, Ciaran. I really appreciate the time today.